All right. Enough messing
Speaking
around.
of speaking of overrated,
Speaking of
we
Damian
have
just draining the lane,
we've got another team to talk about.
Trailblazers time, 31 and 22 on the year. Pretty much split home, same home and road record. They are 6th in the West, and they are 2 games above the Mavs. Here's their schedule coming up. They played the Heat on Sunday, which I'm going to talk about, and they lost. They have Boston tonight. They play the Spurs, and then they play Charlotte on Sunday. And they better watch because Miles Bridges is coming down on you. He's gonna reach all the way back to 1955 and just drain it.
Ooh, there we go.
Ooh,
Oh man, I have gone cold. That's been my issues. I've just gone cold here in the second half, Rutledge.
it's because the Clippers are cold and you froze with them as you tried to defend them.
That's true. That's true. So Damian Lillard has been struggling lately. What do you make of that, Rutledge?
So last Thursday, Damian Lillard actually came out and he had a post in the post press conference, post game. He basically came out and he said, he's like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Positive. I'm happy, but uh, when we play against, and I'm gonna kind of read this as I play a video game. Basically, he said when we play against top level, oh good timeout. When we play against top level teams, we don't play well. We get put away. At Phoenix, we got put away. Tonight, we got put away. At Denver, we got put away. Milwaukee at home, put away. Clippers got put away. I mean, it's not like it's a small sample size. It's what happens. And he basically called the team out, says they need to have some heart, some pride, and I'll look in the mirror, himself included. So while
Ooh,
he's been struggling, the whole team is kind of really been having a struggle. And it comes from some people not contributing, but I really think it's a defensive problem. Uh, I think they are having a huge defense issue, and I watched the Miami game, or at least the highlights on YouTube of it again. And offensively, they're all over the place. They had a Norman Powell. They had Norman Powell. He's doing great. He's a great piece they got in the trade deadline. But Miami just went to town with them some places and scored some wide open things and made all the kind of the plays that we saw the Heat do that made everyone be like, "Oh, that's Miami." When we were looking at the playoffs last year, who was going to come out of the West, they just did it all over them on Sunday. So defensively, they have a lot of holes in them, kind of like the way I started this game, and they're not they're not strong enough, and it takes a lot of work. But since he kind of called them out, hopefully they can have a turnaround. I also think it's a little bit of coaching and not getting the right players in the right places. And Carmelo's been under contributing. I know that's a lot of takes all at once, Connor, so take one and run with it. But
yeah. I mean, how would you fix Melo? I mean, he just missed a pretty wide open important shot for you.
I mean, it's kind of what he's been doing the whole day. And look at him block. Did you watch him block Michael Porter Jr. or lack thereof blocking Michael Porter Jr.?
He Carmelo doesn't even want to play defense in a video game,
No.
and you're controlling him.
Oh, there you go.
But but he does do that. um, so how would you? Yeah, I mean, I guess as we're moving forward, as we get into this part of the season, right? You know, Damian, you just talked about Damian Lillard calling out some players, things like that. How would you how would you kind of fix that, whether or not it's through rotation or mentality?
You gotta kind of put the right guys in the right places. So and the sad thing is it's kind of Carmelo Anthony, and he's had a legacy for doing this. Is um, Carmelo is kind of whenever you read different sports articles by different groups, whether the Athletic or CBS or somebody, they all say the same thing. They all mention a problem, and Carmelo Anthony is in the next sentence. So I think it's going to be a lot of Damian Lillard is a very positive person. He drives a lot. He has a lot of inspiration behind himself, but he's going to have to help out. Luckily, he's got Norman Powell to kind of carry the slack. I think I like Dame. I like Dame time, game time a lot. But I don't think he has the team around him to help him do what he wants to do right now. I think we're kind of going to see um, not his talent get wasted, but kind of like when you saw him on the cover of 2K21, you're like, oh, cool, that guy. But there's no one else around him to make him to where it's like when he's really good. Kind of like when LeBron was on really bad Cleveland teams, he was having to will the team forward. But Damian Lillard is not as good as young LeBron James, therefore he can't just put the team on his back and beat everybody.
Ooh, tough miss there by the Joker. He is not having an MVP kind of second half. Um, so also as it relates to Portland, I mean, I think one of the things that we saw and kind of fell in love with was Dame in the playoffs last year, and him nearly willing the Portland Trailblazers to that first round win over the Lakers. And yeah, everyone thought about that, and they kind of just fell in love with what was going on there. But that was an 8 seeded team that had to get really hot in the bubble at the right time and had a lot of problems. So I could see there being some serious. I could see there being some maybe additions and subtractions, if you will, whether or not that's the coach, whether or not that's moving off of Melo, whether or not that's moving off of CJ McCullough, or shoot, whether or not that's even Damian Lillard saying, you know what, I'm kind of done with this. So I could see a variety of things going on here as we get into the final minute of the game here tonight.
I definitely kind of feel like eventually if they don't clean it up if they don't clean it up in Portland and they don't get the right pieces, Damian, and I'm not gonna not like Giannis, but Damian he's going to eventually say, you know what, I'm out, and he'll do something like maybe go. I see him signing with like a big three, or he'll just do what everyone else did this year and go sign with the Nets. By the way, pause and shout out to the 317 Dan, who says that they're new to playing 2K21 but wants to play with us. So, you know what? Drop us some messages in the comments. Let us know whenever you want to play some friend stream sports. Maybe we try something new. But I say that, so back into the point I was making. Um, Definitely I'm with you. Damian Lillard right now, I see he's in a mega contract that he signed for 4 years, which we're in the fat middle of. So he's got a lot of cap space and he's worth a lot of money. However, if he doesn't make it work in Portland, I can see him kind of leaving. It's a small market town. You're in the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of cold and rainy. Does he jump off? Does he go to New York like it's advertised anytime a big name comes free agent? Does he go to Brooklyn? Does he go to Los Angeles? Does he go to Phoenix with their have success? Does he go to Atlanta with the culture that they have building down there?
Hawks culture, like
Haw-
Heat culture.
Hawks culture like Heat culture. Does he go to Miami, right? Or does he just get paired up with LeBron for one last LeBron run?
That would
So,
be that would
uh,
be wild if
Jokic on the goaltending? You've got to be kidding me. That's a
uh
laugh. Ha ha. I've been waiting
the
all night
Joker.
to use a bunch of Joker puns. So, what do you see? Do you see Damian bringing a ring to the Pacific Northwest, or do you see Dame taking his talents to elsewhere? Maybe South Beach.
Take it. I see Dame. I don't think they've got it right now. Obviously, um, I don't think they've got it right now to win a title, and I think that they've got a ton of work to do. They got to bring in some players. I could definitely see Dame, maybe finishing out his contract with Portland,
Ooh,
hitting this three right there.
hurt.
Uh,
That three hurt.
yes, and we're gonna extend this game here a little bit. We're gonna have to dig down deep into our Trailblazers talks. But no, I see I see Dame definitely being I see him on the move. I don't see him finishing his career in Portland. I think he's well loved. Um, but I don't see that being a place that really attracts a lot of free agents. Just quite frankly, I don't see the Pacific, Portland in particular, Rutledge. I know how you feel about Portland, but I don't see that being a good place to attract a lot of big time players into the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's definitely out of all the big areas up there, you know, you've got. Sadly, this is the only basketball town, right? It's not a Seattle, it's not a Vancouver, which those two don't have franchises anymore. But it is, it's I don't know, it's a small market team. It's kind of like an Orlando, if you will. Yeah, it's got some big stuff. I know that a relative of mine just got a job with Intel out there, but it's not big enough as a town to say this is a destination place I need to go. So we'll see what he does. Oh, okay. Take me to
Going
the
to the
line.
foul line.
Take it to the
Have you
foul line.
have you spent much time traveling in Portland, Rutledge?
I've been to
Being from
Portland like twice, but my favorite Portland fact is, did you know that the characters from The Simpsons get their names from streets in Portland?
no way.
Yeah, so when they made the show The Simpsons, they used just a bunch of different names from the streets of Portland, so that when you drive around Portland, you just see different names. And I can't believe you sent Damian Lillard to the foul line.
Hey, if I didn't send Dame to the foul line, the game would have been over. You got to do something.
Well, he gets both. And a timeout by the Nuggets. Last timeout, 71 to 68, 15.2 seconds to go in real time, but basketball time it goes. Okay. So Connor, so you have the Trailblazers going out. Here's how I think they kind of go in. Now their schedule is going to be hard. It's not going to be very easy um, for them to kind of make it, and they've got to clean some stuff up defensively. But I have, if you know, I think the Nuggets are going to collapse, which we can both agree on. Dallas is probably going to have to lose some, and the Lakers are not going to be the dominating force to. I believe the Trailblazers will make the playoffs as a 6 seed to where they won't have to do the play-in tournament. They will, however, being that bottom of the seed, play one of the red-hot play-in tournament teams. And if they get like a, let's say they get Dallas after their win in their playoff game, how do you feel that series will go?
Say that one more time.
So, Portland's going to be a 6 seed team, in my opinion, which means they
Yes.
don't have to do the play-in tournament.
Okay.
Dallas is right below them. I believe Dallas will win their way and be who Portland plays. So, how do you see that series going?
Uh, the Dallas versus Portland.
Yeah, Dallas versus Portland. Portland's won. Let's say they took their series in 7 games. They're playing. Dallas has played 7 games. They're playing a rested Portland.
Uh, I see Dallas winning it. I think yeah, Dame is awesome, but the offensive firepower of Luka and Kristaps is and JJ Redick. I love that move that they brought in JJ Redick.
Yeah, I agree in that. I think it's going to be that whatever spot Portland gets into the playoffs, I think they'll bow out after that round. I don't see them not making the playoffs altogether because they're too high up. I still think they'll get the 6 seed, but whoever they play, I think will take them because of their defensive issues.
No doubt, and you came all the way back.
That was a huge comeback. That was big. I want to look at the score.
Little box score action.
A little box score act as we get ready. Total game. No. I don't want to look at box score. I want to look at score summary. Little score summary action. This isn't what I wanted either. I don't know what I want to look at. But either way. What a game, Connor. What a game. So that's where we're at.